welcome to Miss Cindy's Kitchen, and tonight I'm going to take you along on the journey of making dinner out of what we have on hand or what we need to use up. As we mentioned before in the previous episode, our van, which we've nicknamed Murphy, has been in the shop for almost 3 weeks. So by tomorrow, when we're supposed to get it back, it will have been 3 weeks. This was before Easter. An hour past Cinco de Mayo, on to Mother's Day. Anyway, what we're going to do is we have some vegetables in the fridge that we need to use up. A friend gave me 2 of these cauliflower roast kits. They've got cauliflower florets in a cheese sauce packet. And these need to cook in the oven or roast for 20 minutes. So basically, whenever you're making food, you need to think it through in that what is going to take the longest amount of time to make or to bake, and then do that one first. So this is 20 minutes, so I'm going to start this first, then I'm going to make some stuffing. Because I have a leftover roast chicken from the weekend, because a friend gave me 4 whole chickens and I didn't have room to freeze them, so I cooked them all. We've eaten 2, we gave 1 away, and this one is just saying, please eat me. So, stuffing is always a good side to go with chicken or any kind of poultry. So, first off, I'm going to spray my baking pan with some pan spray. Whoops, and I even sprayed the Ninja handle. It needs to be washed anyway. So, and the scissors are right in front of me. So, this is a lucky night because I actually have my kitchen scissors handy.
Yeah, because I just washed them.
Yeah, I use these things a lot. Because once I use them, I put them in the dishwasher because they get icky from meat or whatever you cook with them. So there's one package. And then we're going to do the second package. Alright. Oh, the lovely smell of cruciferous vegetables. You know, they always smell a little funky, but they're good for your gut. So you don't smell funky.
Yep.
Anyway, so there's that. And I'm going to experiment with roasting some carrots.
Okay.
Because I've heard that they become sweet or sweeter when you roast them. And these carrots need to be used up. So I'll probably use half the bag. And I guess it's a sign that carrots need to be used up when they start growing roots.
Yeah.
But they'll be okay. So, we'll do that. And then, for my next trick, I'm going to pour some oil over the vegetables. I would normally use olive oil, but we're out.
We're out of oil.
So I'm using cooking oil. We just happen to have canola on hand. And again, whatever cooking oil you like to make food with, use that. It's, you know, user's choice. Don't overthink it, it's just food. So we're going to coat that in a little bit of oil. And I am partial to garlic and herb seasoning. This happens to be a Kingsford blend. And some good old seasoned salt.
Good old garlic salt.
Garlic salt, yes. Alright. I was looking at the seasoned salt, but using the garlic salt. So I'm just going to stir this up. The magic of stirring vegetables. Alright. You never know it daily what's going to be the highlight of your day. Alright. So I'm going to dump these on the baking sheet. And I'm going to spread them out a little bit. Oh my word. That's a little much.
I think that one
That's gonna go to the compost pile. A little bit of roots is okay, but that's a little much.
Well, we could go bury it in the backyard and see if we can get another carrot.
Yeah. All right. So I have the oven already warmed to 425. It's still in the preheat, but I'm gonna give it a jump start. And my oven shelves are wonky from roasting the chicken over the weekend. I had to give them enough distance from the top of the oven. All right, so for my next trick, I'm gonna make the stuffing. So basically you can take any kind of stuffing and make it your own. So I'm gonna open this up. I have a built-in audience here with my dog.
Say hi.
She's like, "What you doing, Ma? What you doing?"
She's making human food, which is what she's hoping you'll drop on the floor.
Yeah, oh yeah. She helped me pick apart the chickens last week, huh? All right. So, this is a generic version of stovetop, and it's cornbread stuffing, and it's got a blend of Cajun seasonings in it.
Yeah.
Because it's Louisiana Fish Fry Product brand. And this is made in Baton Rouge. So it's actually from Louisiana. Cool deal. All right. People in the South know how to make good food. All right. So, butter. I use real butter.
Do you use the salted or unsalted?
By default, I use pretty much salted for most everything. Even when it calls for unsalted, I tend to default to using salted. Here's my all-purpose butter.
Is there a difference?
Well, a lot of recipes to bake with call for unsalted. But I use mine for both cooking and baking, so I do both. So, I'm going to turn this on, get the butter melting. So, is watching butter melt kind of like watching grass grow?
I don't know. I've never tried that.
In some parts of the country, watching grass grow is an Olympic sport.
Yep.
Okay. And this doesn't actually call for the onions and celery, but I always find it adds a nice variety of flavors and textures.
So you got the onions in the...
Got the onions in the butter.
All right.
And then I was a little short of celery, so I decided to throw in some carrots. Because celery, carrots, and onion are considered the classic mirepoix, which is like saute vegetables to make a good sauce. So there you go.
So everybody can tell that our dishwasher's running.
Yes. It's gurgling. If it's not the dog slurping water, it's the dishwasher gulping water. So now we're going to let this saute until the vegetables are translucent. And by translucent, it means they're no longer opaque. The onions kind of get a shiny, clearish look to them.
Okay.
So we're going to do that. And then while that's going, we're going to open up this. And since this has seasoning in it, we'll mix it with water rather than broth.
Okay.
Because generally, like the Mrs. Cubison's stuffing that comes in the big box, they don't have a seasoning packet with it, whereas like these types of ones have seasoning, or like the stovetop type have seasoning. Those you generally make up with water.
Okay.
Because if they don't already have seasoning, you use broth, because the broth imparts a lot of flavor.
Okay.
So that's the difference between those two kinds of stuffing. The end result is the same. It's just if you were to put broth in this, it would probably be too salty. Things you didn't know, you didn't know.
Well, wouldn't it say on the box?
Generally it does, but some people will ask, what's the difference? So it says to mix with 1.5 cups of water. So I'm using 2, which would make it 3 cups.
3 cups of water.
So regular math comes in handy. I don't know about higher math like calculus and statistics. Where is my cup measurer? The little measuring pitcher.
I don't know. We kind of floated off some more.
Yeah. Well, let's pause for a sec while I find the darn thing so I can add water to my stuffing mix. We're back. I decided to go with my batter bowl because it's got measures on it. Apparently I've been cooking a lot lately, so all the measuring devices are in the dishwasher, which as you can hear is running currently. Alright, so the onions aren't quite done yet, but see, like this one, that's translucent, so they're almost there. But they will continue to cook as I put together the rest of the recipe, so I'm going to call it good and add my 3 cups of water directly to this. Ooh, it smells good already. Alright, so we're going to take this stuffing mix, dump it in there, and the second bag, and dump it in there. See, with a little ingenuity and thought, you can make food out of whatever you've got on hand. So we're going to stir this while it absorbs. And the other thing we're going to do is add some craisins.
Craisins?
Yeah.
What is a craisin?
It's a dried cranberry.
Oh.
It's a cranberry that got old and shriveled
I
up.
thought it was a crazy raisin.
Well, yeah, but these are a little more tart than standard raisins. I find them to be really good in oatmeal.
That is true.
Yeah. You tend to favor traditional raisins.
Raisins, yeah, but you know,
I tend to favor craisins. So I would say probably about a 1/4 cup, 1/3 cup. You don't want to put too much.
I know some people like to have dried cherries.
Yeah, it works too. It gives a nice flavor contrast between the savory and the sweet. And since cranberries aren't really sweet, they're just kind of tangy sweet. You know, it makes for a good blend. And they'll help absorb some of the extra liquid in the stuffing. So now it's pretty much ready. We're just going to let it simmer until everything else is ready. And I forgot to put the timer on the vegetables, but I'm estimating we're about 10 minutes in. That's about how long it takes to make stuffing.
Right.
So we're going to put you on hold until our vegetables are ready for the next step. And we're back. The vegetables are almost done roasting, so it's now time to make the cheese sauce. And, funny enough, this is labeled mac and cheese seasoning. And it looks, the yellow pouches look kind of like the box mac and cheese stuff you get. And basically it says to mix the powder with milk and then put the butter in and then turn on the heat. So it's always good to read the directions before you start. And I accidentally threw away all the packaging and had to go retrieve it. So don't get too ambitious cleaning up until you finish making your food. So, it looks like mac and cheese powder, doesn't it?
Oh, good grief.
So we're going to have cheese sauce for our cauliflower and carrots. Ugh, this is wet. I had to rinse it off because it had cauliflower bits all over it. Oh my goodness. Dahlia is in want of water. And being the lovely dog that she is, will tap her bowl, her metal bowl, so it hits the floor and go like, waiter, I need some water.
I know some of you are thinking we should just give her water, but she is so like,
she will gulp it to the point of being obnoxious. So I'm going to use this together and put in a cup of milk. I'll probably put a little bit more to stretch the sauce because we have more vegetables than originally called for. So just 1.25 cups maybe, 1.5 cups. It's not an exact science. Alright. So I'm so used to turning on the heat, but I'm going to do that first.
with the butter.
We're going to put the butter in after we whisk together the powder and the milk.
You're right.
Yeah. I actually read the directions this time. But you know what? It's kind of like, you know, cocoa powder is hydrophobic. So is this cheese sauce. It doesn't want to mix with the milk. But it's getting there. And I'm using this plastic whisk because this is a non-stick pan. And you're not supposed to use metal on non-stick.
I just heard Alton Brown say something about that. Don't you use any metal tools on a non-stick surface?
Yeah, because you will end up scratching your pans. And this is the tail end of some butter we had used for frosting or something the other day. So it said to use 2 tablespoons per batch. Okay. So this is about a half a stick, which is 4 tablespoons.
Right.
You know, give or take a little bit. So we're using up stuff, so it's okay if it's not exact. It's not a final exam at cooking school. This is just making dinner with what you got on hand. As I always say, don't overthink it. It's just dinner.
Just food.
It's just food. So.
Now, what is the butter supposed to do?
Melt. It's supposed to make the sauce creamy. Because when you make macaroni and cheese, the sauce is made with milk, cheese powder, and butter.
Okay. But I thought the milk would just be enough.
It would make it too thin. Then you add some richness to the cheese.
Oh,
see, it said to cube the butter first, but you know what? It's melting. Just like the Wicked Witch of the East.
Yep.
So we're going to let that melt. And then it will thicken a little bit. So while it thickens, make sure you like and subscribe and keep on sharing and keep on coming back for more videos. So we're going to put you on hold for a couple minutes while we finish the sauce, and then we'll bring you back.
All right.
Cheese sauce has thickened.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't that look yummy?
Yeah, it does. It's like looks like the cheese they put on nachos.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the spice in it. All right, let me get, where is the pot holder? And let me get the other one, so I have one for both hands. All right. Gonna get the vegetables out of the oven. Dahlia's like, great, I'm backed into a corner. So.
Ooh.
Yeah. Doesn't that look fantastic?
It does look good.
Yeah. So, I'm just going to pour the cheese sauce over the vegetables. And let me stir them up real quick. Roasted vegetables with cheese sauce. And then we're going to have our stuffing and our roast chicken. So we now have a nice dinner in just a short period of time.
So what do you say really quick while you're pouring that to people who are like, oh, this is all, prepared food. This isn't really cooking. This is,
Well, we basically, we cook fresh most of the time, but there are times where we have packaged foods that are given to us that we want to use up. Like my son got the stuffing mix at the school pantry, and we love stuffing. So that's something that's not exactly easy to make from scratch either. You just dress it up a little bit. And then the cheese sauce, sometimes when you're a working family on a budget, you have to cut some corners if you're busy. And we have a chicken that's been roasted from scratch. We have roasted vegetables with cheese sauce. Basically, you make the most of what you have on hand and you feed your family. When you have fresh vegetables, you use up the freshest stuff first. When you get to the end of your grocery week or 2 weeks, or like us, we're stuck without a vehicle. We have to go a couple of weeks in between shopping trips sometimes. So this is what we have left. That's what we're cooking up. So,
all right.
Anyway, so I'm gonna put the cheese sauce on here. So, basically, you make the most of what you have and what you have on hand, and you make You're being good stewards of the groceries that you're given. You know?
That is true.
Yes. We have a dear friend that shares a lot of groceries that are at the use by date that we use because we're on a budget. We're a working family that's broke. But hopefully that'll change. So we're doing the most of with what we've got.
And it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah. So let me get the chicken out of the microwave because I heated it up. And then we will pretty much have dinner ready. Look at that.
Mm.
You know when you're looking at a nearly empty fridge, because it's the end of the grocery run, pull some stuff together.
And it's interesting because it actually, you know, putting cheese on your vegetables will get your kids to eat the vegetables. In all honesty, you know.
Our kids have never struggled to eat vegetables.
Right.
If anything, they argue over who gets the most broccoli.
Wow, that looks really good.
Yeah. I'm gonna put.
So you already cooked that chicken. You're just reheating it for dinner.
Yeah.
God.
Because on Saturday night I roasted 4 chickens because I had 4 chickens, and it takes just as much effort and energy to bake 4 as it does to cook 1. So, got to figure out how to get this out of here. It kind of form fit to the container. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We're gonna flip it.
Oh, actually, you did a pretty good job.
All right. See, we got a roast chicken. That was a roast chicken cooked from scratch because that's what we had. Good old chicken in a bag from the grocery store. That was given to us for free, or we were blessed with, so we cooked it up. Now, we're going to carve the chicken. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
And it's steaming, so it must have gotten hot all the way through. It's got steaming breasts.
Say that again with a loving.
The breast meat is steaming hot,
Okay.
so we know it's all done. Okay. So, why don't you grab a plate and I will give you some food and you can do a taste test.
Oh, cool.
Unless we want to pause and bring Logan out to do a
Well,
taste
let's see
test.
if we can get Logan. We haven't seen Logan in a while. Hold
so
on.
let's pause him. And Tyler is going to be our taste tester for tonight.
Yeah, because Logan is still studying for finals, so.
Yeah. Well, we knew you love chicken skin, but what I made tonight is these 2 things.
So why don't you try a little bit of the vegetables in the
Stuffing?
stuffing, and let me know what you think.
Okay.
We having issues there?
It's being very evasive. You got it.
There you go.
That's good.
We could put that on a t-shirt. That's good.
That's good.
All right, now try the stuffing. I know stuffing's not your favorite,
You
but
realize
you can try it.
gut is German for good, right?
Yeah.
Gut.
Well, you
That's
got
gut.
German heritage on your dad's side,
Yeah.
so.
Can I try some of the stuffing?
Well, I normally don't like stuffing, but I'll make this an exception. That's pretty good.
Even if it's a food you don't normally like. But
Oh, so it
anyway.
was good?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you again for joining us on a journey to dinner.
Yeah, that's what I'll call it. A journey to dinner.
Yeah, basically taking the groceries you have on hand and putting a meal together. So, anyway, have a great evening and be sure to like and subscribe and come back again soon.
Thank you for watching Miss Cindy's Kitchen. To get more recipes like this one, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. Share it out to your friends, family, neighbors, and leave us a comment to let us know how this recipe worked for you. And don't forget to hit that like button. Again, thank you for watching Miss Cindy's Kitchen.